have with us Mr. Chandu Siroya. He's the Vice Chairman of Dubai Gold and Jewellery Group, and he's also the Managing Director of Siroya Jewellers, one of the leading jewelry companies in Dubai. So, welcome to the AOJ Talk of the Day show, Chandu Bhai. It's great to see you.
Namaste, and thank you very much for having me over.
Yes. So Chandu Bhai, what we hear is that most of the jewelry shops in Dubai are open now. Your lockdown restrictions have been lifted. So give us a sense of how's the response been after the lockdown and how's the Dubai jewelry market been doing?
Uh, First of all, a very pleasant day to all the listeners. Dubai is a unique place, and we are living in a place which is blessed actually because we have very benevolent rulers. The Dubai Al Ras area, which is the place where the gold souk is located, was actually one of the most severely hit during the COVID crisis. And there was a complete lockdown, meaning almost a curfew. Nobody was allowed to leave their houses also. And the government was very, very helpful at that time. They actually provided food also to the people who lived in this area because many people live in the same area.
Fine.
Some of us had problems because the gold price went up a lot, and during that time, people had margin calls and their checkbooks. They could not get access to checkbooks. They could not get access to the stocks, and there was a big, I would say, concern. So when we addressed as the Golden Jewelry Group, when we addressed the concern to the Dubai police, they were very, very helpful, and they said, "Okay, fine, we'll give you limited access. 20 companies will be allowed to go visit your offices, do whatever you have to do, and it will all be under the police supervision." So we were allowed access to our offices also in those circumstances, even when the lockdown was there. So this was very, very helpful for people. They could pay their margin calls and they did not suffer too much because otherwise the banks would have fixed their position if they could not do their margin calls.
Right.
Since the last few weeks, we have been open, and we opened gradually. The trade was a little skeptical in the beginning. So the Dubai police formed a task force, and some of us are members of that task force from the Golden Jewelry Group. And we had a daily briefing with the police. What was the situation? How the shops were opening up? How many retail shops? How many wholesale shops? So we were giving them reports. They asked us what we needed more. So we needed some posters, some sanitizing equipment. All those things were already done at that time. And slowly we had 50 shops opening. Then it reached 100. It reached 150. And today almost all the shops are open now. The wholesale offices are also open. You see, the shops are all open, but the customers are still not coming because there is a little concern, and we are trying to do whatever we can to convince the customers that we are taking care. Our staff have been trained. They have been trained by professionals how to take care of the cleaning of their stores, how to clean the jewelry, how to display the jewelry also. Once the customer has tried some jewelry, then we have to keep it aside. We have to sanitize it. There are certain challenges, some jewelry which cannot be sanitized. So those items are kept aside for a day or two to let it cool. And now there is some UV light boxes, sanitizing boxes which have come up. So we're trying our best to do whatever is the best practices in terms of preserving the health of our customers and our staff all alike. So slowly, I think the market will come back to its normal. Gold being a discretionary purchase will take a little longer than other items.
Right. Dubai is known as a city of gold, Chandu, and gold
Yeah,
plays a very big role in the economy of Dubai, in fact, whole UAE.
sure.
So, what kind
Yeah.
of an impact you are seeing of COVID-19 on the gold business in Dubai as a hub of gold business?
Uh, you see, Dubai is known as the city of gold for two, three reasons. One is, I believe, it is the gateway to the east and the west. Both we are placed in a central location, So it is a melting hub of all the markets, I would say. So in Dubai, you can find jewelry made in almost every manufacturing center of the world. You
Right.
find jewelry in every caratages and every design, because UAE is home to over 196 or 200 nationalities. 200 people from 200 nationalities, culture call this as their home. So the jewelers here have actually made a fantastic combination of trying to match the likes and dislikes of every type of human being on this earth. And there is jewelry available for everybody. So it is rightly, I believe, the jewelry destination of the world. Now, as a corollary, what happened was the wholesale trade also developed all those things. So today we have a jewelry which can be worn by a lady in Brazil or in China or in Philippines or in India, wherever you see. So we have jewelry of all types available, and that is the reason I think we term ourselves as the city of gold. The second reason could be the pricing structure. You see, the jewelers of Dubai, or rather UAE, what they did was from the beginning they adopted the policy of high turnovers and low margins. So the profit margins are very, very low, and the pricing is very competitive. I believe we are one of the most competitive priced jewelry in the world. The margins are very, very narrow. At the wholesale level, they are actually almost, I would say, maybe a few percentage over the gold price, and you can buy the jewelry from here. The ease of doing business is the third reason, I would say. You see, Dubai is unique, the UAE rather is unique, and you can walk in with any quantity of kilobars. You deposit in the customs, say your name, they'll give you a receipt, or say your supplier's name, they'll give you a receipt in that guy's name, and the person whoever his name is written there, he can go collect the gold from the airport. You bring the gold to the jewelry stores here, and against that you can buy any jewelry. When you go out also, we just deliver the jewelry to you at the customs, and it becomes very easy. So there's a very clear flow of jewelry. Even as a retail customer, if you buy jewelry from any store in UAE, the VAT has been introduced 2 years ago, and the refund of the VAT is so systematic. It is so easy to get the refund at the airport. In fact, you can do it by yourself in a kiosk. There are kiosks which are there, and you get the refund easily. All you need to do is show your jewelry, show your passport. In fact, the passport numbers are already pre-entered. So all you need, there's a barcode. You just scan the barcode, and if you are taking money in your credit card, it's easy. It's done. If you want cash refund, that will be done after the immigration. Once you cross your immigration and customs, you get your cash refund. So it is very, very easy. And that is one of the major reasons why we have thrived as a gold hub at the wholesale and retail, both levels.
Coming to the impact of the coronavirus and also the various activities, as you said, the government of Dubai had taken. So share with us the other CSR activities the jewelers in Dubai and probably your members of Dubai Gold and Jewelry Group has taken. We hear few things in India from Malabar distributing the food kits to the lot of workers there in Dubai. Could you share some other CSR activities happened in the recent crisis?
You see, the first and foremost is we have requested all our members not to fire any staff. We have said retain your staff, because if you have any people who are leaving the jobs or who lose their jobs, then their livelihood is going to be affected, and in turn their families will be affected. So this is one appeal which we have made. In fact, we have suggested that it might be better to reduce the salary of the staff rather than remove a few staff. And most of the people or most of the staff have been understanding. They have accepted salary cuts. So the number of job losses are still limited, and that is as of today. But if the markets do not improve, it might change. The Golden Jewelry Group as such has not done any CSR activities as yet, because a lot of CSR activities are being done by the government themselves. Our ruling family, the wise ruler had requested for 10 million meals to be given, and he got 15 million contributions. So there's a lot of CSR activity happening all around us. And as you said, some of our jeweler brothers have participated in very, very big ways in providing food to the needy. As I told you, the government was providing food to all the staff who were under the lockdown period.
Right.
because if you don't have access, you're not allowed to go out. So if you cannot go out, call, food will be sent to your house. Uh, the other thing which has been done is a lot of I would say, temporary places have been made for COVID-19 victims, and those who are tested positive and are asymptomatic are kept in isolation or quarantine. So some of our group members have done that also. They have furnished the entire buildings for the quarantine, and
Right.
we have participated. For example, our community, we have participated in a very big way, and the next thing which we are looking forward is going to be the repatriation. You might have read that over 350,000 Indians have asked for repatriation. There is an equal number of Pakistanis. There is many Bangladeshis who might be wanting to go back home. Likewise, there might be Filipinas. There might be. So you see, without sticking to one caste or one country, we are going to try and help everybody. If whatever budgets are available, we will try and see that people can go back to their home countries.
Right.
And if they don't have the funds, then it will be provided by some of our groups, hopefully.
Right. Yeah, that brings us to the next question, Chandu, that India and UAE and Dubai works very closely when it comes to the jewelry
Yes,
industry. We have a
sure.
lot of small and big jewelry manufacturers from India who export their goods to Dubai. So naturally, they'll be affected. So, what is your message from Dubai to the Indian exporters who deal with the Dubai market?
You see, I believe Dubai is probably one of the large destinations for Indian-made jewelry, because from here we distribute it to the world at large. So we have a very strong trading partnership between India and UAE when it comes to jewelry, and specifically gold bars, gold bullion going into India and jewelry being exported. My only thing would be, you see, we all have to be a little patient. If we expect that our business is going to come back to normal tomorrow, it's not going to happen. Jewelry is a very discretionary purchase, and it is a last purchase. People are not confident they will have their jobs. People are not confident of their incomes, whether their savings are going to be depleted. So it is going to take a little longer than other businesses for jewelry business to establish and to regain its position as it was in the past. Having said that, what I would request everybody is to be a little patient. We have to be patient for two reasons. One is, our business is a very special business. See, we are in the business of adornment, and we cannot be in a rush. We have to give the customers their time to settle down all their things, and they will come back to us. The major advantage which we have is we offer them a product which makes them happy, and at the same time, they save money. You see, this is a form of indirect saving, or I would say in today's world, it is direct saving, because in terms of need, you can sell your gold and you can do whatever is required with that money. So I believe the customers will come back. The thing I would say to my exporter brothers in India, especially, is that please be patient. Do not let your workers go away, because they are your actual strength. You see,
Right.
today it is very challenging. It is very, very challenging to pay to the workers sitting at home. But if we don't take care of them in these challenging times, we might lose that workforce. And that is one thing which we can't afford, because jewelry is an art. The worker who works is actually an artist. And once he goes and starts doing farming or some other things, he may not come back to our line. And the new generation, as it is going away from this. So we have to make sure that we don't lose this big force which we have, the workforce. So let us try to take care of them. Maybe we pay them a little less than what we used to pay, and I'm sure they will understand, so that they can sustain. Right now, the idea should be to sustain. If you can manage your expenses for the next 6 months to 1 year, and if you can come out of this with flying colors, I believe we are going to be back to normal. So the idea is cash is king. We have to try and preserve it, but not at the cost of the artisans only, or not at the cost of the sales staff. Let us try to minimize our expenses by maybe reducing our stocks, reducing our borrowings. Maybe mergers could be one more thing which could be done. If we don't have the enough resources, we could merge with one another and try to support each other. So I believe we are in a a profession where we are selling a noble metal. So let's all try and do that and remain noble in our hearts also.
Yeah, that was a very comprehensive reply. And coming from India, I can tell you a lot of activities are happening, especially for the labor, for the skilled people who are working in India. Our trade bodies have come together, and a lot of activities are going on to retain them and support them. Going forward, my question is regarding the gold prices. By the way, gold
Mhm.
has a dream run this year. It has already appreciated more than 20-25% in this calendar year. And if you look at from last Akshaya Tritiya to this Akshaya Tritiya analysis in India, the prices were up more than 45%. So, what is your take? You have been in gold business for a very long time. What is your take on the gold prices internationally for next 12 months?
I wish I knew I would become a billionaire. You see, the thing is, gold has actually proved itself that in times of difficulty, gold is king. And people come to gold whenever there is uncertainty all around. And right now, also, we are seeing the same thing. Uh, there are some analysts who believe that gold will go much higher. Some believe it is going to go much higher. My personal opinion, I believe gold is going to be at its present level between 1600 to 1700, 1800 for the next 1 year. This is a comfortable price for the customers. They have accepted this. Even for the producers, they are happy with this price. We have to wait and watch how the other factors like the dollar, the interest rates, how these all play out once the lockdowns are removed in most of the places, because today also a large portion of the world is still under lockdown conditions or under regulated conditions. So once everything comes back, I think we will see a lot of settling happening. I don't believe that gold will go to $2,500 in the near future. It could go eventually because it will again depend on the strength of the dollar.
Right.
See, and it will also depend on whether certain countries are depegging their currencies and going for dollar as a medium, gold as a medium.
Right.
So there's a lot of geopolitical things which play on the gold price. For the consumers, I would say every day is a right price, a right day to buy. Whenever you feel you want to buy jewelry, go out and buy irrespective of the price, because simple as jewelry will give you happiness. It will give your wife happiness. It makes your married life easy. If you have not married but you are giving a present to the person who is receiving it, he also feels happy because there's a final value on the gold. So I believe every day is the right price.
Right. That's good. That's the emotional part. But the price range which you are giving out is around $1,600 to $1,800 an ounce for next 12 months. Your
That
personal.
is, yeah, that is what I feel.
That's
Yes.
quite a stable price. That way. Yeah. All right.
It should remain in that. It should remain in that because over at 1750, the physical demand dies down. Nobody wants to buy jewelry. Nobody wants to buy gold. The investment is happening because of the ETFs and the government treasuries buying gold.
Right.
But individual people do not buy gold at that price. So it has to balance. And I believe we will see it here at these levels.
So finally, Chandubai, we'd like to hear from you your journey as an entrepreneur in Dubai. You set up this huge gold business, which is today globally well-known brand, the Siroya Jewellers. So tell us, you're originally from India, right? As we understand.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
tell us
yeah.
your journey in Dubai and how you built this successful business.
Uh, Actually, ours is a joint family business, and my uncles and my father, everybody is part of the business. It's been a long journey. My father came to UAE in 1975, and since that time, we were in the jewelry business in UAE. Before that, my grandfather was in the jewelry business in Mumbai. We all come from Mumbai, but originally we are from Rajasthan. And my father came here. He started jewelry. He started construction. There were various companies, and then we had a fallout with our partners, so we had to separate. And then in 1991, I started Siroya Jewellers, which is our company now. And by the grace of God, by the strength of the core team which we have, I have a team which is unparalleled. I don't think anywhere in the I can find a team like this, and it's a big thank you to them because of this successful team. And I would like to share here that in the last 30 years of our existence, I have had only 3 staff leaving the job. Everybody else is still with us. So I believe in long-term partnership with your staff also. And the day you start treating your staff like your partners and your brothers, um, I think success will follow because everybody works in the same position. So we restarted the business in 91 again, and we started very small with some borrowed gold from our friends, and
That
they
is
helped
after
us
the
in
Gulf
those
War,
times.
right? So just to interrupt you,
Immediately after the Gulf
the
War,
Gulf
yeah. You
War,
see,
right?
after during the Gulf War, we had this situation with our ex-partners, and all our gold got stuck there. The capital was stuck there, and we had to wait for 1 year before we could restart the business. So we started with the support of some of our Indian exporters. They were very kind to us, and they exported jewelry on consignment basis, not consignment, on due basis to us, in spite of the fact that I didn't have a company. So I must say a thank you to them also through your medium. And it is these people from India, the exporters, who helped me in my journey. My family, my uncles, everybody supported this idea. And here we are today. And as they say, rest is history. It's a team effort.
So
All of
today,
us
what
work
is the
together.
scale of business? I think you kind of deal with most of the countries in the world in terms of either you're selling them or
Uh,
you're sourcing from them.
yeah, by the grace of God, we have done well, and we supply to almost 30 countries, and we buy from about 12. Uh, we have been the recipient of the highest importer of Indian Jewelry Award for the last, I think, 12 times in the last 14 years. So I think we have done well for ourselves, and I hope this will continue. And I hope the Indian artisans will make jewelry which we can present to the world and sell to them. So we are actually a conduit for the Indian traders and Indian artisans, Indian jewelers, to present our showpieces to the world.
You're like the window to the Indian jewelry to the world.
I would like to call it that. Yes, I hope we continue in this way. Of course, in the process, we did add a lot of other jewelry from Singapore, from Turkey, from Thailand, from Korea, from Europe, everywhere. We have been importing jewelry and to offer a wider basket. You see, the unique thing about Dubai, as I said in the beginning, is that you find jewelry in 18 karat, 14 karat, 21 karat, 22 karat, and even in pure gold. You see, so to be a preferred jewelry supplier, you have to try and match whatever the requirements of your customers. So when we have customers coming from America or customers coming from say Philippines, I have to have jewelry for both of them. So we've been lucky, and we have got some good partners as suppliers, and I think we have done well. Thank you.
Excellent. I remember you
Yeah.
also, Chandubai, your company holds a Guinness World Record, the largest gold chain made during, I think, some 10 to 12 years back. Tell us something
Longest
about
gold
that.
chain, yeah. That's history. Yeah, you see, what happened was we had the Dubai Shopping Festival, and I was fortunate to be the vice chairman at that time also. So it was our 10th anniversary celebration, and everybody was sitting on the table and said, "We have to do something unique." Our advertising agency at that time, we had two gentlemen from there, and they proposed, "Why don't we make a chain?" So everybody said, "Yes, it's a good idea, but how can you make a chain
World's
which is going to be
biggest
long?"
chain, gold chain.
Longest chain,
Longest.
yeah. So we did at that time, we made the world's longest gold chain. It was 4.28 kilometers, and but it was machine made. So when we applied to the Guinness Book of World Records, at that time they did not accept it. They said, "Sorry, it is a machine made chain, and it can be replicated by anybody who has gold and the machines. So we can't do it." Then a few years ago, if you, I have the certificate here. In fact, it's in
Okay.
my wall
Right.
for the 2015 shopping festival when we were completing our anniversary for the Dubai Shopping Festival. We said again, let us do this way. And this time we partnered with some other manufacturers also. So it was not done uniquely by our company. The
Right.
idea was ours, but we shared the responsibility of the manufacturer with four other companies, and between all of us, we produced a chain which was, as it says, 5.522 meters.
Wow.
So it is 5.52 kilometers, 18,116 feet long.
And how
So
much
this was
approximate gold worth were used to make that chain?
it was around 238 kilos. It's not written on the
Wow.
certificate, but it was around 238 kilos. And we displayed it for the public for 7 days in the parking lot of the Dubai Gold. So this is also possible only in the UAE, where in the public area you
Right.
can
You
display
can
a chain
such a
and
huge gold chain, and it's
238
very
kilos,
safe.
and yeah, it is very safe. So this is a unique feature of Dubai. So yeah, that got us the Guinness Book of World Record certificate. This record is actually held by the Golden Jewelry Group. It is the Dubai Golden Jewelry Group which holds the record, but we were the manufacturing. So it says for our contribution in the manufacture.
Wonderful. It was lovely talking to you, Chandubai. Thank you
Pleasure,
for your
pleasure.
time and stay well, stay safe. Thank you.
Thank you. And one last thing to our friends who are listening to this,
Listeners in India.
I
Yes.
believe I believe gold is something which is always going to be there, and it will always stay. When I say gold, I don't mean only gold as in pure gold. I mean jewelry, and jewelry also includes diamonds, color stones, everything. So you see, as long as we go on producing classic pieces, there is always going to be a demand. We have to change our view. We have to adopt a little bit of technology, try to make the jewelry a little lighter, more appealing to the young classes. You see, our major focus should be on the millennials, because these millennials now are going to be our major customers. And we have to design jewelry which will appeal to them. And once we are successful in that, I'm sure this is going to be there for the next 200, 500,000 years.
Wonderful. Thank you for that optimistic note, which we all need
Thank you so
right
much.
now in jewelry and all industries. And it's great. Thank you for your insights, Chandubai.
Thank you so much. And thank you for having me here. Namaskar. And God bless all of us.